Another sign of hope in Wisconsin as more than 1 million people are fully vaccinated against COVID in the state.
But first, people around the world are focused on Minnesota as the murder trial begins for the former Minneapolis police officer accused of killing George Floyd.
This is News 3 Now at 5.
My instincts were telling me that something's wrong. Something is not right. I don't know what, but something wasn't right.
Witnesses are taking the stand today as a landmark trial gets underway in Minnesota. 12 jurors and 2 alternates will hear the case against former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. He faces murder charges in the death of George Floyd.
Bystander video shows Chauvin pressing his knee into Floyd's neck. Video that was shared online last May, causing people across the country to protest in response to Floyd's death and police brutality. Prosecutors began their case today by showing the entire 9-minute, 29-second video of Chauvin and Floyd. Jurors watched as Chauvin ignored cries for help from Floyd.
Grinding and crushing him until the very breath, no, ladies and gentlemen, until the very life were squeezed out of him.
Prosecutors are arguing that Chauvin used unreasonable force against Floyd. Chauvin has pleaded not guilty to the charges of murder and manslaughter.
Chauvin's defense is expected to rely heavily on their expert medical witness, who will likely testify that Floyd's death was not a murder, but rather due to pre-existing health conditions and drugs in his system.
There is no political or social cause in this courtroom. But the evidence is far greater than 9 minutes and 29 seconds.
3 other officers involved in his death are also charged with aiding and abetting and will be tried jointly in August.
People gathered outside of the Hennepin County Government Center in Minneapolis today for the start of the trial and to show their support for the Floyd family. Attorneys for Floyd's family also kneeled before the trial began. They say this trial is a referendum on racial justice in America. Demonstrators have remained peaceful in the city. The police chief of Minneapolis says no arrests have been made as of tonight, and his department has not received any reports of property damage in the city. Local, state, and national law enforcement agencies are prepared for emotions to be high throughout this trial. The death of George Floyd prompted weeks of civil unrest in Minneapolis last summer. So far, 3 witnesses have been questioned. The trial is expected to take at least 4 weeks to complete. News 3 will carry moments from the trial daily on air and online at channel3000.com.
Let's get a look now at your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti out on the breezy weather patio.
Oh, it's windy out here. You can hear the wind howling in the tower behind me, but the winds are out of the south, and that's why I'm out here without a jacket. Temperatures are very mild. Visible cloud track shows a little band of clouds coming through this morning. That was actually with the warm front, and now those temperatures have really taken off. Live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison showing mostly sunny skies, clear skies. Temperatures that started out in the middle 20s jumped up into the middle 60s. These are the high temperatures so far. 72 in Boscobel, 70 in Prairie du Chien, and in Lone Rock. And right now, temperatures are in the middle 60s to around 70 degrees. So they may even be up a degree or 2 for the official high temperatures for the day. But these are the winds. Current winds gusting to 44 miles per hour in Madison. So we're seeing some strong wind gusts there. Wind advisories are in effect for most of southern Wisconsin. That is in effect until 8 p.m. tonight. Those winds, though, will stay brisk overnight. That will keep low temperatures up into the middle 40s. Now, high temperatures tomorrow will reach the lower 50s, but those winds will shift around to the west. And as that happens, cooler air starts to move in. There's even a slight chance for a shower tomorrow. And by Wednesday and Thursday, it'll feel completely different with high temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s. But a warm up and dry weather's on the way for the Easter holiday weekend. I'll have more details in weather in just a few minutes.
All right, hang on, Gary. Well, 3 more people have died in Wisconsin as a result of COVID. The state reported nearly 300 new cases. This is a dip in our 7-day average, but overall, Wisconsin has seen a rise in cases after weeks of a steady decline.
More than 1 million people are now fully vaccinated against COVID in Wisconsin. That is a notable benchmark to hit, but it's also a matter of perspective. Our Gabriella Becerra joins us to explain what crossing this threshold means for our state. Gabby?
The doctors I spoke with today are feeling hopeful because 1 million fully vaccinated people in Wisconsin means 17% of the state is protected against COVID-19. But there's still a long way to go, and they say it really depends on one major factor.
Vaccinations are happening faster than many first thought, but it still doesn't feel fast enough to Dr. Matt Anderson.
We're really crossing some thresholds here coming up where I think we're going to be getting better and better.
1 million people are fully vaccinated in Wisconsin, and almost twice as many have at least one dose. That means 30% of the state's population is somewhat protected if another wave does happen.
Our ability to get more people vaccinated more quickly is going to help us continue to keep those numbers low and ultimately a return to normal more quickly.
Dr. Anderson says the proof lies within DHS data.
You'll see that the 65 plus numbers are really pretty low and lower than other age groups, and they've certainly been the priority for vaccination over the last month or two.
Next, doctors are hoping to see numbers like those replicated across all categories.
That's the goal, is to stop the infection and stop the virus by getting the level of immunity that we get with the vaccine.
But while the demand is filling nearly every appointment,
can we increase our capacity even further? Sure we can, if we have the vaccine supplies to go for it.
The supply still can't keep up.
As of now, the only limiting factor continues to be the number of doses that we get every week.
While 30% may feel like a lot, there's still a lot more people to get to, and they say the faster we vaccinate those people, the less likely it becomes for another major spread of infection to happen again.
Gabriela Becerra reporting live. Gabby, thank you.
Here's a look at the vaccination numbers in Dane County, where 1 in 5 residents are fully vaccinated against the virus. Many public vaccine clinics want to see people from their communities first. In fact, the state wants you to book close to home whenever possible, but literally anyone willing to drive up I-94 for a few hours could get a shot this week. Amanda Quintana explains why the Ho-Chunk Nation has so many doses that they've opened it up to the general public. Amanda?
Yes, well, it wasn't widely known until recently, but Ho-Chunk Nation has actually been making vaccines available to the general public all month long. So that means you don't have to be a tribal member, you don't have to live in a certain county, and you don't have to have any medical conditions. So this is really for anyone. Tribal health leaders say that they had about 2,000 extra doses left over for this week. So they scheduled a clinic in Baraboo for Wednesday, which is already filled up, and Black River Falls for Thursday. Although American Indian populations have been prioritized by DHS, many tribal members are hesitant to get the vaccine, waiting to see the long-term effects of it, leaving extra doses available.
I think mainly it's going to be seeing more people of their ethnicity or whatever group that they're from getting the vaccine and sharing their experiences with them. We can talk about the science until we're blue in the face, but really I think they trust the people that they know the best.
Kiana Bodine says 43% of tribal members have been vaccinated. She feels that they can do better than that. They've run media campaigns like this one that you're seeing to try to convince people to trust the vaccine. She said young tribal members are especially hesitant. Now, this clinic in Black River Falls on Thursday will be the last one open to the public from Ho-Chunk Nation. They say that now that they know that they have overestimated the interest, they're going to ask DHS for less vaccine going forward.
All right, Amanda Quintana, thank you.
Doctors say 70 to 80% of the population needs to be immune to COVID before we reach herd immunity. Herd immunity means a vast majority of the population is immune to COVID-19. That can be achieved through vaccination or natural disease, which Dr. Nasia Safdar at UW Health says no one wants to see more of. She says when that happens, it depends on how quickly supply is rolled out.
One is the vaccine supply, and the other is that the population at the other end has to be willing to take the vaccine once it's offered.
Dr. Safdar thinks herd immunity is possible for some sectors of the population by this summer, but points out that there's only one vaccine approved for people ages 16 to 18, and none are approved yet for younger ages. Governor Tony Evers vetoed a bill that would have given Republican legislators more control over how to spend federal relief money.
Workers and business owners are still filled with worry. Families are still struggling to make ends meet. And this money belongs to them to the people of Wisconsin, not Republican legislators.
Governor Evers says the legislative oversight would have caused delays in getting money to Wisconsin residents. The governor says Wisconsin should receive around $5 billion in federal aid. He plans to use more than $1 billion of that to help improve tourism and support local businesses. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos has not responded to our messages seeking comment about the veto.
In other news, a private mass was held today for the officer killed during last week's shooting at a supermarket in Boulder. Officer Eric Talley was the first officer to respond to the shooting. He was one of 10 people who died. He was an 11-year veteran of the police force. He leaves behind a wife and 7 children. Friends and family say they're remembering Officer Talley as a good man who was willing to die to protect others. The cargo ship stuck across the Suez Canal is finally free. Tugboats blasted in relief this morning when the ship finally budged after hours of being pushed and pulled. For days, dredgers sucked up nearly 1 million cubic feet of sand and mud. Now, one of the world's most crucial passages is open again.
And this isn't the first time this has happened, and although it has captured the sort of public's imagination because it's such a big vessel.
Egyptian investigators are now looking into how this happened. The Suez Canal carries more than 10% of global trade, including 7% of the world's oil. Some ships have decided to take an alternate route around Africa, adding 2 weeks to their voyage.
A program that supplies Dane County food banks with local produce will continue until next summer. County leaders announced the Farm to Food Bank extension today. The program launched last April near the start of the pandemic. County leaders say the extension and $10 million in new funding will help make sure families have their basic needs met while the community recovers from the pandemic.
If you've watched the way the court proceedings have been done in Dane County this past year, you may have noticed the defendants appear through the food slot holes in their cells. A group of court observers is trying to change that. They say that other counties have adapted to the challenges of the pandemic, still allowing the defendants to appear in a separate room in full view. Dane County has continued to show defendants through slots in their cells, which they say does not allow for due process and makes them automatically look guilty.
There's lots of research that indicates when defendants are shackled, when they're in prison garb, et cetera, that affects the perceptions of the people hearing the case.
Tonight, after the NCAA tournament, our Jamie Perez explains the attempts this group has made to change the way Dane County proceeds with virtual court hearings in the future.
Well, still to come tonight on News 3 at 5, from the Longhorns to the Golden Eagles.
You'll get a chance to meet the new coach of the Marquette basketball team. That's next at 5. And on Wall Street, traders took a breather. The Dow Industrials managed a 98-point gain, closing at 33,171. The NASDAQ lost 79, and the S&P 500 was off almost 3.5. We'll be right back.
When it comes to weather, only one thing really matters: accuracy.
Only one station can be the best.
News 3 Now. First Warn Weather has the most accurate forecast, according to Weather Rate.
Count on First Warn Weather for your most accurate forecast.
Gruber Law Office made it so much easier for me and my family just to say we can breathe again.
If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
And I thank them truly from the bottom of my heart.
There's a splash of surprise in every Wisconsin Lottery scratch game. Like WOW, the new $10 number match game, featuring a chance to win double the prize with a WOW symbol, or instantly win $30 for every binocular symbol revealed. A chance to win up to 25 times, and a top prize of $75,000. Instant scratch games from the Wisconsin Lottery. Odds are you'll like them.
Erectile dysfunction for men of all ages has become much more common. In fact, most men don't realize that 90% of erectile dysfunction is a direct result of broken down old blood vessels. This causes a lack of blood flow that is critical when achieving an erection. With our state-of-the-art technology, we're able to stimulate new stem cell growth right in our office with no pills, no needles, no surgery, and no pain.
To book your consultation and get back to natural functionability, call Peak Performance for Men today.
You expect students to make a mess in schools, but the superintendent, under Deb Kerr's leadership, the Brown Deer School District was a financial mess. Kerr's district's accounts were overdrawn by $500,000, slamming her district with late fees. And instead of firing the employee responsible, he was given paid leave, costing taxpayers $136,000 more to pay him to do nothing. Scandals, cover-ups, taxpayer money wasted. Deb Kerr, the wrong choice for state school superintendent.
Add comfort and style to your home with help from Menards. Find your style with Patriot Lighting ceiling fans. Menards has a huge in-store selection for you to choose from, like this LED Ogan ceiling fan. It comes with a remote, and you can easily change the color temperature with the flip of a switch. Get 11% off all Patriot Lighting ceiling fans. Save big money and get 11% off everything at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
We asked some of our young fans for their best one call, that's all.
One call, that's all. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
Dane County's year-long stoppage of jury trials created a huge backlog of unresolved cases.
It's not just been hard on defendants, it's been very hard on victims.
With trials set to reopen in June, News 3 Now's Naomi Coles takes steps to discover how the courts will handle this overload.
We are all going to have some serious challenges managing the backlog.
Plus, national criminal justice experts weigh in. Justice delayed. Today on News 3 Now at 5:30 p.m. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, it's official. Shaka Smart is leaving his Longhorns in Texas and returning home to lead the Golden Eagles.
Smart took the court in Milwaukee for the first time today as the university's president and athletic director officially announced the Oregon native as the Marquette's 18th head coach. Smart was a 3-season starter for Oregon and played college hoops at Kenyon before embarking on a coaching career that crisscrossed the country. He led the underdog VCU Rams to the Final Four in 2011 and most recently coached at Texas. But for Smart, there's no better feeling than being home.
And it starts with family. My mom, Monica, lives about an hour away from here.
Smart also thanked his high school basketball coach at today's press conference. Hear what he had to say about the coach who now is in Middleton. Ahead on News 3 Now at 6.
Kids can visit the Children's Zoo at Henry Vila Zoo again. The Children's Zoo and Lake Wingra entrance reopened today. Both have been closed for more than a year due to COVID protocols. And the kids that we talked to today were pretty excited about the news.
Yeah, we didn't come here that often because of COVID and stuff. I'm trying to see all the cute animals.
Yeah? Why do you like doing that?
Because they're fascinating and cute.
You're pretty cute, too. The carousel will also reopen to 7 days a week. The zoo is taking extra sanitizing measures to ensure that visitors remain safe during the pandemic.
The iconic cherry blossoms in D.C. are in full bloom right now. Warmer weather caused them to reach peak bloom earlier than normal. The National Park Service has been tweeting bloom updates to the public. Initially, staff thought peak week would happen after Easter. Here in Wisconsin, Door County is a popular place to enjoy cherry blossoms. Destination Door County predicts they'll start to bloom sometime mid-April. Right now, the website lists them in stage 1, which is in the budding stage.
Oh, let's get a check on the weather now. Good thing those cherry blossoms aren't here. There wouldn't be a blossom left with this wind. Hi, Gary.
I was just going to say, yeah, they don't do well on strong winds. And today, those winds have been howling. Wind advisories are in effect for most of southern and western Wisconsin, as well as northwestern Illinois, Iowa, much of Minnesota, farther to the northwest. High wind warnings in effect for parts of North Dakota and South Dakota. That's for winds that could be gusting somewhere between 40 and 50 miles per hour. These are the highest wind gusts so far today. Here in Madison, a 45-mile-per-hour wind gust. You can see wind gusts around 45 to 50 miles per hour over the flatlands of Iowa. And current wind gusts here in Madison, still a gust of 44 miles per hour. Dubuque, Iowa, wind gusts to near 50 miles per hour. Waterloo at 51. So those winds are still howling. They will start to die down a little bit after after sunset, but it'll remain windy overnight. But those winds have been out of the south, and that has really caused temperatures to take off. We're in the mid-60s here in Madison, but a large area of 70s from La Crosse westward through much of Minnesota and Iowa. A few places are approaching 80 degrees. Unfortunately, that milder area will be cut off before we have a chance to get that warm. But compared to 24 hours ago, our temperatures are up 22 degrees here in Madison. Temperatures have risen by about 30 degrees over central Minnesota. But relative humidities are also pretty low, in the 25 to 35% range. That, coupled with the strong winds and the mild temperatures, have wildfire concerns high, and there are red flag warnings for high fire danger across parts of northern Illinois into much of Iowa, western Minnesota, into the Dakotas and Nebraska. Hopefully conditions will improve later on. Those warnings run until 8 p.m. tonight. Three things you need to know in our forecast. Tomorrow will be cloudy, it'll be breezy, and that will keep our temperatures down. It won't be nearly as mild as today. There's a slight chance for a shower. Highs will still reach the lower to middle 50s, but chilly weather returns for Wednesday and Thursday. Highs only in the upper 30s on Wednesday and lower 40s on Thursday, after overnight lows in between drop into the upper teens. But the mild weather returns at the end of the week as those winds shift right back around to the south. It'll be breezy with high temperatures in the middle 50s on Friday, and I'm looking for high temperatures in the middle 60s for both Saturday and for Easter Sunday. In fact, over the next 10 days, you can see those temperatures dropping for the next couple of days and then warming back up for Easter weekend. Next week, kind of iffy. It depends on the position of a warm front. If that front is north of us, those temperatures could be about 10 degrees warmer than I have forecast. If it's farther to the south, those temperatures most likely will stay in the 50s, and we'll see better chances for rain. But right now, you can see on Weather Track, the skies are clear. No rain around here. The air very dry across much of the country. That's after a couple of active days of weather and flooding, severe weather, flooding through parts of Tennessee. The next weather system to the north and west, mainly into Canada, and that's what will come through tomorrow. Most of the moisture will be to the north, and there's limited moisture to begin with, so we're not looking at much in the way of showers. But once these cold fronts come through, we'll see a definite change toward colder weather behind the fronts. As we zoom into our part of the Midwest, you can see those temperatures, 60s here, a large area of 70s and even some 80s out to the west of us. And on Future Track, those clouds start to move in later on tonight. Slight chance for a shower during the day tomorrow, but notice the wind shift to the northwest, and that will cause those temperatures to drop off. Look for those high temperatures to be in the upper 30s by Wednesday. Wind advisory in effect until 8 p.m. tonight for all of southern Wisconsin. For tomorrow, look for a breezy and not as mild day. High temperature around 52. I won't say colder, but there is a slight chance for a shower. The colder weather arrives for Wednesday, 38 for a high, and it'll be breezy as well. Thursday, a high of 41 after a low of 18. But Friday, we're back up into the middle 50s. And then as we head toward the Easter weekend, partly sunny skies Saturday and Easter Sunday, highs in the middle 60s. Shower and thunderstorm chances on Monday, and then Wednesday and Thursday of next week, high temperatures upper 50s to the middle 60s. As we check out first warning traffic right now, not seeing too much in the way of problems along the major highways. A little bit of a slowdown right on the northbound Beltline north of Middleton. Traffic briefly slows down as you head toward Springfield Corners. Otherwise, look for travel times to be pretty normal across much of southern Wisconsin. The travel times on the Beltline either direction, about a 14 to 15-minute trip from University Avenue to the interstate. Heading out of Madison down towards Janesville, it's a 25-minute commute on I-3990. 16 minutes to Sauk City from Middleton on US 12, and downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue US 151. It'll take you 17 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn Traffic.
Gary, thank you. Despite seeing an uptick in alcohol sales during the pandemic, some bar owners are looking to create a buzz without the booze. The new trend they're tapping into, next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know what needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here to help.
Steinhoffels has the largest selection of in-stock Tempur-Pedic mattresses. And when you purchase one, you get $300 in Steinhoffels cash. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
Get the max out of your tax refund at iMart Express. With 2 pairs starting under $40, you'll spend less on the have-tos and keep more for the want-tos. Our prices won't break the bank. Your tax refund goes further at iMart Express.
Enjoy more space with a new Champion sunroom, custom built to fit your lifestyle.
The sunroom has now become our family room, and we live in our sunroom.
We help you choose the best design options for your home. Manufacture our products right here in the USA. And our install team manages your project every step of the way, all backed by our Champion Guarantee. Right now, save 30% on your new sunroom. Call now or visit championsunrooms.com to see which sunroom is right for you.
Join me in the 608 weekdays on News 3 Now this morning.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, if you drive around the Madison area, you may have seen one of the newer billboards advertising alcohol-free beer.
They were put up as more wine and beer companies release non-alcoholic items. A recent industry survey found the public's taste for low and non-alcoholic beer, wine, and spirits is growing faster than overall alcohol consumption, which is why some business owners are creating dry bars like this one in Austin, Texas, where every cocktail is made alcohol-free.
It looks like a bar, it sounds like a bar, but there's something about it that's different.
So now what we're seeing in terms of consumer trend is really that moderation has become part of the everyday lifestyle.
The move to alcohol-free drinks started a few years ago when the Dry January Challenge became popular. That eventually led to Dry July and Sober October.
So the cost of coffee could be going up. Right now, stockpiles are at a 6-year low. A number of things are causing this. There's a shipping container shortage, making it hard to transport goods from country to country. And the pandemic is making it hard to get coffee beans from South America into the United States. American and United Airlines are extending their flight credit expiration dates until March of next year. A wave of flight credits, initially good for 12 months, were issued last year when the pandemic first started. The extension is good for American Airlines travelers who canceled their flight starting March 1st of 2020. United covers canceled tickets going back to May of 2019.
Gary has a final check of your first warn forecast when we come back.
Sunroom savings season is here. Four Seasons has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 30%. Let Coolview show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
The cherry on top of your sundae, extra crowd on your brunch, the icing on... well, you know how it goes. There's nothing wrong with making a good thing even better. That's why saving with Edvest, Wisconsin's 529 college savings plan, makes perfect sense. When you open and fund an account, you plan your family's future and get the extra benefit of a Wisconsin tax deduction. Start now. Like seriously, right now at edvest.com. It's so easy, you can even do it as you enjoy your extra cheese pizza.
I switched to Chevy.
I switched for more room. I switched for my family. For adventure.
We love our Chevy.
With an impressive lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs, it's no wonder people are switching to Chevy year after year.
I'm never switching back.
Get a $2,000 cash allowance on most 2021 Traverse models. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $1,000 cash allowance. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
Joe Parisi has preserved thousands of acres that the public can enjoy forever.
Joe knows we all deserve a chance to succeed.
Joe Parisi partnered with local schools to build the only school-based mental health program of its kind in the state.
Thank you, Joe, for your commitment to preserving green spaces that we can all get outside and play in.
Thank you, Joe, for working so hard to make sure everyone in this community has an opportunity and a second chance.
Thank you, Joe, for caring about the well-being of our children.
Sunroom saving season is here. Four Seasons has great solutions to beat the backyard blues and save 20 to 30%. Let CoolView show you how to tame your backyard and improve your lifestyle. Call for a free backyard survey, design, and quote.
Well, wind advisories remain in effect until 8 p.m. tonight for all of southern Wisconsin. Still seeing some wind gusts in the 40 to almost 50 mile per hour range here in Madison. Those winds gusting to 44 miles per hour, but those temperatures are mild. Mid-60s in Madison, low 70s out to the west. Look for lows tonight in the upper 40s. Highs tomorrow back into the lower 50s, and then only upper 30s for Wednesday, but a warm-up for the Easter weekend.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 6. We'll start at 5:30 right after these messages.